Hey Jake, how's it going today? I'm gonna go over your last workout. So with the squat, we're working on cutting off a little bit of depth. We're going a little bit too deep, so it can be hard if you're used to going a little bit deeper to try to cut these off at parallel. So like I was saying, you can mess with the stance. Looks like you took the same stance here. You can mess with the stance by going a little bit narrower. You just got to be careful because if you go too narrow, lots of times you can't hit correct depth. Just like if you go too wide, you can't hit correct depth either. Usually, just focusing on shoving the knees out and staying tight all the way down, your body will kind of cut you off just below parallel where you need to be. So that's why it's important to make sure that the stance is good. So stance needs to be right around shoulder width at the heels, toes are out about 30 degrees, and then you shove the knees out real hard, and then your body should kind of stop you just below parallel. All right, so let's see how these look. So depth looks better here. Good. All right, so not too bad. Let's watch this next set. You could probably stand to work on your bracing just a little bit. So when you come out, you want to take a big giant breath of air. The chest is going to puff out slightly, and then you're going to squeeze your abs down a little bit tighter. You want to try to get your body stacked up a little bit more vertically at the start here. So you can see that you're already a little bit bent over here. Hips are a little bit flexed, knees are a little bit flexed. So the main cue for next time in terms of your setup is just going to be try to get everything stacked up in a nice straight line. So barbell, hips, knees, ankles, all in one straight line. Take a big breath, squeeze the abs, get everything lined up and tight, and then start your descent. As you descend, you're going to want to think about bending knees and hips at the exact same time. So you'll see here, if you watch the two joints, watch the knees and the hips, you'll see that the hips actually bend and go back first, and then the knees bend a little bit later. So think about bending those two joints simultaneously. Barbell drops straight down over the middle of the foot. Bar path looks pretty good. It's pretty darn close to midfoot, but timing of the knees and hips is just a little bit off. Nicely done. So same thing with the setup here. So we're going to work on getting a little bit more stacked up and tight in the setup. So um, bar over hips, hips over knees, knees over midfoot roughly or ankles. Um, and when we get ready for the rep, we want to take a huge breath of air in, squeeze the abs as tightly as we possibly can, and then when we descend, we're going to break at the knees and hips simultaneously. Again, you'll see here depth is a lot better, but the hips go back and bend before the knees do. So think knees and hips together next time. Good. All right. Moving on to the bench press. We're at 210. Good. Nice job. Keep pushing back. Keep the hips down. Good. Nice job. All right. Let's see from this angle. Good. Try to get a little bit more leg drive as you're bringing the bar down. So as you're bringing the bar down, shove back hard. Think about forcing your chest up over your shoulders. You want to do that as you're bringing the bar down, not just on the way up. That way you stay tight as it's coming down. And you'll see that on the way up, when your leg drive kind of kicks in, you'll see your hips kind of jump just a little bit. If you use more leg drive as you're bringing the bar down, that shouldn't happen. Use all of your leg drive on the way down just as much as on the way up, and then everything will be squeezed in tight, and you'll minimize the chances of those hips popping up off the bench. All right, moving on to the deadlift. Okay, first rep was good. Good. Squeeze everything tight. Pause. Make sure you're on the midfoot. And then force your foot through the floor. Looks good. Cool. Deadlifts look fine. All right, so let's just recap quick on the squat here. So starting with the setup, we want to focus on getting stacked up more vertically in the setup. We don't want to already be bent over, have the hips bent, knees slightly soft. Stack everything up, stand up tall as you can. Big giant breath, puff the chest out, squeeze the abs, get everything locked in tight in the setup itself. And then as we descend, we want to focus on breaking at the knees and hips simultaneously. Bench press also looked fine. Just pay attention to using a little bit more leg drive as the bar is coming down. We want to use the same amount of leg drive on the way down as we use on the way up. That way, when we come up, we don't see either a shift backwards or the hips popping up. All right, so that's pretty much it for this one. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, and I'll talk to you soon, Jake. Take care.